Okay, so this is Mike Kaufman, and thought I'd do a quick video here to show you how to create a new post on your new chiropractic website. Now, there are posts and there are pages on this blog, and they do serve different purposes. For right now, we're going to focus on a post, which generally is a post is normally up-to-date information. It's new articles, news, research, things that are kind of changing on a regular basis. So you're adding new content regularly. Pages, on the other hand, are really more so for static content that relate specifically to your business, the services that you offer, you as an individual, whatever, those kind of things that are very specific to your website and your company. Whereas blog posts are generally, opinion pieces or articles or new research, things of that nature that you would want to add to your blog. So let's say that you want to add a new post. Maybe you ran across some new information that you want to make available to your clients, and so you want to put up a new post on the blog. That new post would show up here in this area. It would end up being placed in one of these categories unless you create a new category, but these are the defaults that are available to you. So when you create the post, you can put it in one of those categories, or again in a new one if you create it. Now, to log in to the administrative area of the website so you can actually create this post, you would scroll to the bottom of the page and click on Login. Once you click Login, it's going to bring you to this login page. Use the login details that I've given you and click Login. And once you're in the system, it's going to first show your dashboard. And basically, this is just basic information about your WordPress site. Currently, you have no posts, you have 19 pages, 16 categories, and so on. If there were any new comments or things like that, it would show up here. If there's any available updates to plugins and whatnot, those would show up down in here. But that's not really the purpose of this particular video. In this video, I'd like to show you how to create a new post. So over here, scroll over the Posts option and click Add New. And then you'll be on the post creation page. Now from here, then you would of course give your new post a title. So maybe Neck Pain Remedies. And that's your new title. And WordPress will save your post as a draft almost immediately. You can see here draft saved at a 7/11/09. It will save this like every 30 seconds or a minute or something like that. So it's very difficult for you to ever really lose a post or lose anything that you've typed in here, because WordPress keeps it all up to date and saves it periodically. Now you'll see here right now that we're on the Visual tab. You can do this on the Text tab as well. The difference on the Text tab is that if you do it here, you need to use the HTML. So in other words, you would use code like this, and you would then put, "This is my first heading." Okay, and this code, these H2 tags, mean that this is a second level heading, which means it's going to be bold and it's going to be a little larger than normal, but you don't see that in this tab. You need to use the code and just know what that code means. If you don't know what that code means, then you would prefer to use the Visual tab. The Visual tab has no code on it at all, and it just simply shows you what it's going to look like in the final analysis. So in other words, if I highlight this, I can then change this to a heading 1, which makes it larger, okay? Or I can change it to a heading 3, which would make it smaller, okay? So so let's change this back and just have it be standard text for the moment. So we'll go back to paragraph, okay? And you might say something like, the other day I ran across an article that provided many great do-it-yourself neck pain remedies. so I thought I would pass them along to you. Okay. And so then you hit enter, and then maybe, so this would be your first heading right here. So maybe instead of first heading, let's actually give it some, let's call it ice packs and soaks. Well, for neck pain, I guess you can't really do a soak, so we'll just do ice packs. Okay, so then we highlight this, and again, we can make this a heading. Now, your title is going to be kind of the heading 1, so generally speaking, you probably want to start with a second level heading and work your way down. So we'll say this is about ice packs, and it is a good idea to consider applying cold to a neck injury in order to avoid or reduce inflammation. Okay, and then maybe you've got a secondary heading here, so a subheading of ice packs, and maybe you might put brands I recommend. Okay, and then this would be a third level heading right there, and down below that you might say because not all brands are created equal, there are certain brands I would recommend you consider. Okay, and so now down below there, maybe you've got a few brands that you recommend. So you could then make that an ordered list. So you highlight it and click this button here, creates an ordered list, or you could make it unordered. Okay, so it's just bullet points. All right, you could then, let's go back and make it an ordered list. You could then maybe put a little bit of information about this brand here, and then the brand itself, maybe you want it to be bold. Okay, so these would be your brands. So we'll do this, and then you can highlight your brands and make those bold. Okay, maybe you decide to make one of them italics. So again, I mean, this is very much like just a word processor. Okay, a lot of things. You can change the alignment. So this could be center aligned or left aligned. Okay, you can let's go down here. Now, if you're in the middle of a list and you keep hitting enter, well, let's go back up here. If you hit enter the first time, then it gives you another list item. Hit it again, you get another list item. Okay, if you hit it again and you don't want another one, then just hit enter again and it gets rid of that and you get out of the list. Okay, so very convenient that way. Now you could also type in, let's say there's a quote here from somebody regarding ice packs. Okay, obviously I'm not typing anything real, but then you could highlight this and make that into a block quote. And it actually in here doesn't always look like it would look on the blog itself. It does give you a little bit of a visual idea of what you're looking at, but sometimes the actual formatting on your website will be a little bit different. So we'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. Now there's other alternatives. Let's say maybe that you are recommending these brands and you want to link to their website. So you would then highlight what you want to link, click on this little link button, and then let's say getitcold.com is their website. Give it a title, tell it to open in a new window when somebody clicks on it, and click add link. So now on the actual page this will be a link. Now of course you can also, let's say, let's go back up here and click on remedy. Let's say you have another post on the site regarding neck pain. Okay, and maybe what you can do about neck pain for them. Let's say you want to link that to the page on your website. Well, down here, okay, and if it's not showing, then you just click this little link here. It will show you all of the pages and posts on your website. Okay, and it'll just keep loading them here until they're all loaded. All right. Now, if you don't want to scroll through them all, because the more of them that you get, the harder that can be, then you can just type in the search box here and say, search for neck. Okay. Now, in this case, you don't have anything, but say subluxation. Okay. So here's an article that contains some information about subluxation. You click on it, and it puts the URL or the web address of that article and the title. Click Add Link, and now you have a new link here. Okay, so very simple to do. Also, down here, you can change text color. So select something and change the text color. You can do that. Down here, you can paste. So like if I copied text from somewhere else, I could paste it in here as plain text, which means with no formatting. Okay, or I could copy something that has formatting and paste it into here, and then insert that into there. And so then it would actually insert with the formatting that it had from Microsoft Word. Okay. There are a few additional buttons in here that are worth noting. First of all, this one here is kind of nice, distraction-free writing mode. If you click on this, what it does is it gets rid of all the extra stuff and basically just gives you a blank page to type in, which is kind of nice. And then if you hover up here, you do get some of your formatting options available to you. But it's nice just to get rid of some of the distractions sometimes. And then, of course, if you want to go back, you just click Exit Full Screen, and it'll take you back here. Okay. If you wanted to add a really sweet-looking button down here, maybe like a download button or something like that, you can use this button. This is your all-in-one buttons. That does not come with WordPress. That's a plugin that I have installed for you to make things easier in this regard. So you can actually give it a little bit of animation. You can change the alignment. You can change the color of your button. You can change the size. Add an icon of some sort. There's a bazillion of them here. You can then, table header. You can change the text. Download your file now. You don't really need to worry about this. If you wanted to open in a new window, you could choose blank. Otherwise, it'll open in the same window. And then just tell it where you want that button to go. Let's say we want it to go to Google. So you click Create Button, and it inserts this code into your page, which will then create that button. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. This button here basically shows or hides this stuff down here. So if you click it, it hides that. Click it, brings it back. Okay. Here's an undo and a redo button. There's an indent and outdent button. So there's a number of formatting things here that you can choose. Over on the right-hand side, you can choose to publish this immediately, or you can schedule it. Okay. You can save it as a draft if you don't want to publish it yet. That makes sure that it's saved, but it doesn't get published to your site. Once you're ready for it to be published, you would just click this button. Okay. Over here, you can choose the categories that you might want it to be categorized under. You can choose one or more categories if you like. Add some tags for search engine positioning if you want. This down here is a little bit more involved, and I'll explain that in another video. This also is a little bit more involved and requires its own video. This is a post visibility section, so if there's certain places on your blog where you don't want this post to be displayed, you could click these and it would hide it in those locations. So for the time being, we're going to click Save Draft. And again, some of these options I'll come back to in another video and show you. So let's do a preview. That'll show you what your post looks like now that you've created it. Okay, this is on your page. Okay, you can see here, this is your post, that's your title, your subtitles. You can see down here, you've got a link here to another page of your website, and you have a link here to that other manufacturer website. You have this block text here, this block quote, and you have your link, which takes somebody, your link button that takes people to Google. Okay, so pretty sweet. That works pretty well. And that's the end of this video. In the next video, I'll show you some of the more advanced functions within this Add a New Post page. Thanks a bunch and take care.